Hi, everybody. This is Caroline Sotheby, and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Well, the cold weather has been with us. It's wintertime, you know. And if you want to sit down there for a while and listen, I'm going to be talking to somebody that I have never met until today. And I'm curious to find out how he got into that position. And it's Ron Thomas. Welcome to the show, Ron. Yeah, so many people, I mean, you're young, and I'm trying to figure out, and you got this and this and this and this, and I'm saying, wow. Like I mentioned to you on the phone the other day, do you sleep, or do you, as you go to bed, you're thinking in all directions? Maybe you like to explain who you are and how you came to be.
Well,
Okay.
Caroline, yeah, I'd be happy to. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
My name is Ron Thomas. I grew up here in Wyandotte. I'm from here. I still live here. I moved away for about a decade and came back in 2010. But I started after graduating high school here a career in like professional bike riding, which sounds out there and strange, right? Where I traveled around the country doing these performances with groups of bike riders as entertainment, really, is what it was. And a couple years into that, I decided to start a business that would put on the events that I used to perform in. And that's kind of how my, really, I guess you could say, career began. But I always knew that I wanted to get into something else. So while I was traveling doing that, I took some college classes. I learned about economics and finance and these sorts of things that are more material to my day-to-day now. But then time came in about 2010 when I was then living in Pennsylvania and wanted to go start getting into real estate and building projects because I always liked building things. And I thought I could either return to where I'm from, which I thought there was a lot of opportunity around here at the time, and hopefully make an impact doing something positive or solving big problems there, or I could move to somewhere else, you know, like Denver or wherever that already had, you know, kind of everything that I would want of the place that I was going to live in. And I decided to come back here and see if I could, you know, do some good as part of my work.
And you came to be. Okay. You have mentioned something because the Detroit television was here, about a couple months ago. And that's when I realized that you were doing some extra work at the old Portofino that was up for sale. How has that gotten to be now? Is it ready to go?
We're shooting to open it. It's going to be called Latitudes, and we're shooting to open it on May 1st. And that's our target date. I think it's reasonable. So right around May 1st, I expect it to open.
Okay.
It's a pretty. It's going to look like and feel like a new place by the time we bring it back to life. I was just walking through there today. I walk through there almost every day, and it's coming along beautifully. And it was the reason me and two other people, Josh Cade and Leo Stevenson, are my partners on that project, wanted to do it was because we thought it was just a really special place. A lot of people around here have fond memories of. It's been well regarded for a long time, and even though over the last decade or so it had, you know, not been taken care of and really like fallen off, we thought it would be an important addition to the town and could be, you know, something people around here really enjoy. So that's why we decided to take that on.
So how are you redecorating it?
I guess you're gonna have to show up and find out. But I'll say that aside from the banquet hall part of it, we're doing some light remodel. Everything else is going to be, you know,
Basically the same?
no, redone. Yeah,
Really?
when you pull up, it looks different. The entrance is going to be in a different location. Everybody thought the best room on the place was, or potentially the best room, was that back room by the water. But it was built poorly, and it wasn't air conditioned or cooled correctly, and it had, you know, those kinds of issues. All of that is going to be completely done.
Really?
It's been a heavy lift, but it's coming along nicely.
Well, our cable system used to go when they had Waterfest, and whenever there were the boat parades going by, we were decked out there with a camera person and taking all this info from the riverside. So I know what you mean about the outside. Yeah. I mean, you were there in the elements, basically. So
yeah. Even if you're technically in the building there, it didn't feel like it.
So you'll have to remind us then before May 1st and when you're going to start and what your menu's going to be.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have mostly the food, same food you had before? Or-
No, it's going to be an entirely new menu.
Really?
Yeah, a different menu. The three of us are inspired by some places in Florida that we are. I don't want to say we're mimicking, but we're taking cues from in terms of menu and design and things like that. Ultimately, we want it to be a fun, approachable place for people to go
Okay.
to. So,
So, okay, through the grapevine, I found out you actually did some work though for in the vault and the fourth floor.
correct.
And
Yep.
how can you describe that now?
Well, it's my the first project I did that was outside of like a house, like fixing up a house, was what is now the offices on the corner of First and Oak Street. And I got that building because I mentioned I had an event business. I got that building because I was planning an expansion of this event business based on a contract that we had or thought we were going to have with the government. We ended up not getting that contract, and so I had this building, what's called Shirley's Calico Closet, with no real use or need for it. So it was kind of a bad situation, right? One of my favorite mottos is never waste a good crisis. So I'm like, all right, well, what am I going to do with this space now? How can I, and the question I asked myself is how can I make it of use to other people? How can I make it productive by providing value to others? And ultimately what we came up with was that office concept that now is there, right, on First and Oak Street. But it took off pretty well and was pretty popular. So after I completed that building, I was looking for the next maybe opportunity. I thought maybe there's something else in town that I could figure out a way to redevelop and make special. And so I made a deal for the 100 Maple property, which is the one where the vault is, to buy that. It was entirely vacant at the time. That and what is now District 142. Both of those were actually part of the same transaction. I didn't have any end use in mind for what is now District 142 at the time. But I figured if we did something with the building where the vault is, it would make that whole block reinvigorated with time. So we just started, me and a partner I have on that building named Justin Bice, who manages our construction. We did that building. We started demo on the building where the vault is on March 1st of 2020, which, think about it, 2 weeks later, the entire country shut down. So we start this big project where we're making, half of its office space, and that happens. But at that point, we were already committed to the project, so we just decided to go full bore and see it through, which it turned out really good. So that's how we got involved with that building. Through that process, Julie Law and Josh Cade, who operate District 142, came to us. Joe Gruber helped put this deal together, and they just said, "Hey, we would like to build an event space. What do you think of that?" And I thought it was a great use for the building.
Yeah.
So we sold them the building and then did the construction for them for that.
Of course, it brings back many memories for some of us. I mean, that was a bowling alley, that was a bar. It was
I remember going to the Entourage.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
So coming back into town, you got another face of it.
Yeah, I remember some of the places, certainly. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of that, and you mentioned earlier, I think you mentioned it, the McKinley School.
Yeah.
So we're turning that into a residential development as we speak. It's under construction now. But if you go through the second story of that building today, you'll see that on the wall there are all these like murals of what were the buildings in town at the time. So it feels like you're walking through 2001 and 1995.
Oh yeah.
Because there's these like student-made art murals of Blockbuster Video, for example, and all of these places that David's Ribs that used to be here in town in that era, and we're going to preserve some of that and keep that in the
How are
building.
you going to put all those apartments or condos?
Yeah,
Or a combination?
A combination. There'll be 30 residential units total there.
Really?
Yep.
That much room over there?
Yeah, it's a pretty large building.
Yeah. Well, right now, how do you convert an old classroom into a condo?
Well, you kind of strip it down to its basic elements, and then you rebuild from there. So a big part of why I was intrigued by that project, and coincidentally I went to elementary school there, but a big part of the reason I was intrigued by it was because of the existing features and how much of it could be salvaged, I thought, to good effect. Like, for example, throughout the building, there are these, nice stone terrazzo floors with these like brass maps inlaid, the kind of stuff you would never build now because it'd be cost prohibitive, but it's still there. And it's old and it's dirty and it needs cleaned up, but it's going to end up making for some really cool features that we're going to
Really?
preserve.
Yeah. The old time.
Oh, yeah.
Still there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so what's in the future now? Anything special, or are you just taking care of what you have?
I'm seeing through what I've begun to completion.
Okay.
As far as what's next, I don't have anything specific in mind yet, but I want to make sure that we do as good a job as we can at taking care of what we're already working on.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so it's got to the point. Are you also in charge of the City Hall on Biddle Avenue?
Yeah, yep,
Oh, yeah?
yep.
How is that coming along?
That one's planning phase is, I'd say, just about wrapped up.
Is it?
Yeah, and so from there begins the reconstruction. We've done, if you ride by, you can see like we've done all of the demolition that we have to do. We took all the asbestos out of it, everything else. But all of these projects are challenging in terms of design and all the planning and all the financing that goes into it. It takes a long time. That one by far and away has been the most complex because there's state involvement and city support, but the city's been great. That part's been pretty easy. But it just takes a while to sort out all those elements and get everybody swim in the right direction. But on that one, we're just about the end of the planning phase and ready to start reconstruction.
Okay. So that's the limit right now. So you have, oh, another one. What did you actually do to the fourth floor up here?
This one's been done for quite a while, but the fourth floor above us, these are apartments. So the way that worked out, and I this is just a fond memory I have of it, is I was asked if I would come and give a price to do the demolition of what was there because some people I think locally were going to do it, and it was a complicated demo job, more complicated than they thought. And so I'm walking through up there, and if you've ever been up there on the third floor here too, you'll see. But there's just like beautiful views of the city and the water, and I thought this could be really special. And I know that the city had wanted residential units to be up there, and so I was asked if I would be interested in building them, and I thought absolutely. You only get so many chances to take something and make it great, and I was just intrigued by the idea. So that's how I ended up becoming involved. But yeah, those have been complete for about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
So you can look at your babies every once in a while and say, "Hey, you turned out okay."
Oh yeah. That's probably my favorite place to go.
Okay, for somebody that might be figuring out, how do I tell my kid what to get interested in, what to go and get college degrees in, and so on? Do you have any information for them? Because you somewhat didn't do a standard college degree, did you?
No, I don't have a degree. I went to college for a while.
But you went and got your source of information.
Correct, yeah. And now, I mean, access to information is so ubiquitous that you don't necessarily have to have a degree to be successful. But yeah, I do. So at the very beginning of the show, you mentioned, that I must not sleep at night, and we talked about that previously. And sometimes that is true, but it's not only for the reasons of, stress and a lot on my mind. It's also because some things just, are exciting to me. And so it's hard to sleep when I'm excited. I want to get up and go to the office or write down stuff or go research something because I'm excited about, some opportunity or something. So to your question of, any advice on somebody if they wanted to, what path they should pursue, do what keeps you up at night. If you have something that you're so excited about that you just can't get out of your head and you think we want to go after it, because even if it doesn't work out the way you planned, you're going to make some progress, right? And nothing I've ever sought to do has ever ended up exactly how I thought it would be. And sometimes I've missed the mark by a wide margin, but sometimes it pulls me in a better direction anyway. And so I just noticed that if you pursue what you're excited about, you do as good a job as you can, you try to do right by other people, create value for others, just keep going, you'll get somewhere good.
How about that? What I liked about the fact that you sometimes plan something and you go in different directions because something pops up and another idea comes up, or
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, I think, do we have any more questions? Any more questions? Well, if you do, you can always get in touch with him or get in touch with us, and I'm sure we'll have you on again, before May 1st.
That works.
Okay, will that be all right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, and you said you didn't get the boat from Portofino.
I couldn't bear to block the view of half the people sitting there in the summertime, so no, we decided not to do that.
Oh yeah, but at least the people usually have a good time going up and down, the river.
Yeah.
You go
Now there's
Detroit.
extra room for people to bring their own boats there.
Huh?
So now there's extra room for people to bring their own boats there.
That's right too.
Yep.
Yeah, because you still have all the frontage on the side there too.
Yep.
Okay. So you have to put the whistle out for all the boats bungle. Shoo, come on down. So,
Yep.
hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate you coming there, and you got out of work and you're ready to go home and eat. So thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. It's been a
And
pleasure.
keep in touch. Okay.
Will do.
All right. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Bye now.